Hello, this is Inside the Press Box with Sunil Sunder Raj with Everyday Fan Sports. I'm happy to be speaking this evening with Tony Bozzella, the head coach of the Seton Hall University women's basketball team. Coach Bozzella, again, thank you, for taking some time out to speak with me. It's just an incredible honor again. Just great to be back in touch with you. Again, Coach Bozzella.
So Neil, it's great to be on your show. You know how much respect I have for you. I know you're one of the top reporters around, and I'm excited to be on. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Entering your ninth year as head coach of the Pirates women basketball team, I'm sure you're looking good, Coach Bozzella. I know that last year was a rough one. With this COVID-19 pandemic, you were in the hospital, but again, you did a tremendous job, leading the Pirates, to a winning record, to the Big East tournament. Finished up 14-7. Landed the number 3 seed, in the tournament, the Big East tournament. Just wanted to get your thoughts just on last season. What comes to your mind, first and foremost, Coach Bozzella?
Well, I was really proud of the girls' resiliency. I mean, I think that's a great word for the girls. They were resilient all year. I mean, 3 stoppages, obviously, a tremendous sacrifice they made to stay and still do it and play. And they had a great year. I mean, they finished 3rd place in the Big East, with 3 stoppages and to do everything we did and have the success we did. The girls deserve a tremendous amount of credit, and I was really proud of them. And I think it's really laid a good base and foundation for this year, and hopefully the success we'll have this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about last year, Under Espinosa Hunter, comes in, 18.6 points per game, 6.1 rebounds. Coach Bozzella leads the team. Couldn't ask, for more from Andre. And then, of course, Lauren Park Lane, 17.5 points per game, 82% from the free throw line. Maya Jackson, 10.6 points. And can't forget, of course, Desiree Elmore, 17.4 and 9.4 rebounds. This year you got 10, I think, said returners. I mean, this is an experienced team coming back. You've added some new pieces. I mean, what so far, just talk about this year's team, Coach Bozzella.
Yeah, this team has had tremendous amount of togetherness. It really, everyone at this time of the year, everyone gets along. I understand that, but this group's a little different. I'm excited. They've been great to coach. We have a group of young ladies that really want to be at Seton Hall and play for Seton Hall and, fulfill the roles that they have. I mean, we're ultra talented. I mean, we returned 2 of the best players in the country at their positions in Lauren Park Lane and Andrea Espinosa Hunter. Sydney Cooks is right there as well. A new addition we had, transfer from Mississippi State, 6'5" center. But a kid like Maya Jackson's improved, Sunil, amazing. I mean, she's the only player in the Big East in the last 2 years to finish in double figures in scoring and shoot above 40% from 3. And she's a way better player right now. She's worked hard. She's gotten herself more athletic. She's tough. Her defense has been fantastic. She's a big time player right now. So, those guys have been great. And then obviously adding, a couple other people along with Sydney and Curtisia Dean, who sat out last year, but with a torn Achilles, but it's back and is healthy now. She's very good. We play her in a similar a role where she could play the post and she could play the wing, and really we can really maximize all her skills, sort of like how we play Dez, but Noonan's a much better shooter. She's not as crafty yet, but she will be, and she's a really good player, great rebounder as well. And has really embraced that position and has done really well with it, and I know will do really well. And then, Katie Armstrong, transfer from Fairfield. Sunil, she can do it all. She was very well coached in college. She's a grad transfer. She's got 1 year. She's 23 years old. Smart. She's going to do very well for us. Shoots can shoot the outside jumper. Tremendous defender. And then Ariel Cummings, a 6'3" center from West Virginia, transfer, shot blocker, strong inside, great post moves, going to really help us. So our depth is far greater. Our kids have improved, that have returned, especially Maya Bembry and Amari Wright. Those 2 have stood out, and I think could start on most year's teams. And this year will really bolster our bench and be really good for us.
It's great. Pick third in, I said the Big East preseason poll, Coach Bozzella. Just, looking at the Big East Conference, this year, of course, led by UConn. But can you talk about, what, you see out of the conference, how it's shaping up to be this season?
It's a conference that's going to deserve 4 or 5 NCAA bids. I thought last year was a disgrace. I thought the committee really shortchanged Seton Hall. Even Villanova and DePaul were right there. But for Seton Hall to not get in as a third-place team in the Big East was a travesty. But this year we're going to have that opportunity. I think this league will get 4 or 5 teams in. Obviously, DePaul picked second. They're tremendous, but you can't sleep on Marquette, St. John's, Providence, Creighton. All have, I think, a legitimate chance of making the tournament. And then the other teams are have gotten better. Butler's got a good class and some good experience. Xavier's got a lot of talent. They just got to mesh. When they do, they're going to be strong. Georgetown really came out at the end of the year. In fact, could have beat us in our gym. We had hit a great shot at the end of regulation to tie it. They're well coached. They're big. They're very big, Sunil. One of the biggest teams in the country. So, they're difficult because you don't get a lot of second chance shots and they contest all your shots. That's another really good team. And I just think overall it's a really good league. Like I said, Villanova, obviously Providence, St. John's, Creighton, obviously Marquette. It's a strong league. We're going to have to play well. There's no easy games.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, that's why I wanted to dive into Coach Bozzella's the schedule. 2021 regular season home opener at the Walsh Gymnasium versus Mount St. Mary on Tuesday, November 9th. And, followed by that home games with Fordham and Lehigh. Then you go to Mexico for the Cancun Challenge. So that's going to be terrific for this program. Just talk about that opening, week pretty much, Coach Bozzella.
And no offense to the school's names, but some people might not think they're as sexy as some other names, but Mount St. Mary's made the NCAA tournament last year. Fordham was picked third in the A10 and has one of the best coaches in the country, and Coach Gately. Then our third game is Lehigh. They made the tournament last year and have a great head coach, been there 27 years. So, all right, first 3 teams are teams that, are really picked really high or made the tournament. Then we get Iowa. They have a first-team All-American. We're one of the few teams in the country that is going to play against 2 first-team All-Americans in their first 4 games, or first 6 games, because we have Caitlin, and then a couple games later we have, obviously, Paige from Beckers from UConn. So, that, and then our 5th game is Toledo. That's a team that averages about 17 or 18 wins a year. Coach Cullup does a great job. So now, you're 5 games in, and then, we come back. We got my assistants alma mater in Iona, and they're picked 5th or 6th in the league this year. So they're picked, pretty high. And then obviously we have the 2 league games, Connecticut and St. John's, and then we have still Princeton, just picked first in the Ivy League. UCF, which is picked 2nd in the America East and got in over us as an at-large last year. And then we end with Wagner, which finished 2nd in their league. Yeah. So we don't have any teams that are cellar dwellers or anything like that. We have a really strong league that we're going to have to play really well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I wanted to ask you about the renovations with the Walsh Gymnasium. That's, something I think that you guys are, very happy about. Just talk about that, Coach. Somebody, said new additions, said to the gym and just with the seating, with the scoreboard. Just talk about that overall, project and, how great it's going to be for the players, the coaching staff, and the fans this year.
When my old AD, who's now our vice president, Pat Lyons, showed me the plans, I never really realized it. But our senior associate AD, Kevin Sponzo, had a great vision and great ideas and great planning in this gym. And then with our new AD, Brian Felt, completing it, it's amazing, Sunil. Like, it's still got the historic feel. Mm-hmm. It's got brand new seats, amazing lighting, the scoreboard really makes me jealous because it's a better picture than the TV I have at home. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We lost a couple hundred seats, so it makes it even cozier.
Yeah.
But I love it. Just the vision by Kevin Sponzo on what they can and couldn't do is amazing to me. It's fantastic. Our floor is an NBA level floor. When they were putting it in, I asked the guy about the floor. He goes, "No, you don't understand, Coach. This is the floor we put down in NBA arenas. It's the best of the best of the best." So they spared no expense. They really cared a lot about our student athletes' health and well-being by putting in such a great floor,
Yeah.
and by really upgrading all our lighting and really making the seating, the sight lines a lot better in our seats. So it's really going to be awesome. It really is. I can't wait for you to see it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Great point you made is that I wanted to ask you about this is that training for this season, the strength and conditioning as well, now with the facilities there, of course, at the Walsh Gymnasium. Just talk about that as well, Coach, because that plays a crucial role, in the whole program as well.
Yeah. Starting with Pat Lyons, obviously, and now with Brian Felt, all our stuff is relatively new. The problem that we just ran into, Sunil, which is terrible, is with the hurricane we had a few weeks ago, we suffered about $2 million worth of damage.
Oh boy.
Completely flooded our practice facility downstairs. It wrecked our training room, our weight room, our academic center. It's terrible. I mean, it'll be nice in probably 6 months when it's all repaired and all brand new again. But we lost every locker room downstairs. Unfortunately, women's was above, but it's going to be a tremendous, overflow again with changing everything. And I'm just thankful our school is still supporting us and making sure it's all brand new and making sure we're whole again. But I tell you, $2 million of damage at least. I mean, there was 2 feet of water in there. I've never seen anything like it because we had the best facilities around. I mean, our academic center was state of the art. But we'll get it back. We will. The people at Seton Hall care so much about our students and our student athletes. But it's been difficult. I mean, our training room right now is in the rec center, but they're doing a great job. Like, we're lucky. We have a great training staff, and our trainer Deja does a great job with them, and they've made it work. And our kids have been great. They're very resilient. Yeah. I mean, after last year, I would think they can handle just about anything.
That's what I was going to say, not playing in front of fans. And as you said, shut down a couple of times. I mean, I'm sure like you've already had, people in there in the Walsh Gymnasium, and you can feel that vibe, that electricity. But I think come Tuesday, November 9th, that's where it's going to, really, you're going to feel that impact. And, especially with some of these, big time games at home, especially the one that, against UConn on a Friday night is going to be just, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. I don't want to forget about your coaching staff, and I can see your beautiful. He
wants to get on. Oh, there he is. My baby.
That's going to add a nice touch to this interview, Coach. Don't want to forget about Lauren DeFalco. Let's start with Coach DeFalco. She filled in for you, said when you were in the hospital last season. Start with her, and then, if you wanted to, again, talk about the rest of the staff as well.
And one of the reasons of the success of Seton Hall is our consistency each year with our staff staying the same. You don't see that very often. You don't see it around. I can't name a school that's really had the same consistency as we've had at our level. As a tribute to them, we're very happy to promote Lauren this year to associate head coach. Very well deserved. She's put a tremendous amount of time and spearheaded our recruiting. And Andre just got voted one of the top 20 small forwards in the country, and Lauren Park Lane, one of the top 20 point guards in the country. We're the only non-football school in the country to have 2 people on. So it says how important basketball is, but what a great job. She's done spearheading the recruiting, but, Marissa Flagg got a nice promotion in charge of junior college and international recruiting, and we're recruiting some great ones now. She's done a great job. Jose Ribimbas, 89 grad, Hall of Famer. He's just so great. His player development and what he's done with our players has just been fantastic, running the offense. We got Pete Sanella that's been able to help us a lot with obviously our scouting and in our just organization. And former head coach, he does a great job. And I was able to bring back Shakina Richardson, one of our all-time great players, as our director of basketball operations. And, she's smart and she gets it. And, she's obviously a WNBA draft choice and stuff. And we had even our two GAs, Andrew Cates does a tremendous job on our graphics. All those graphics that you see about Seton Hall, everything we put up on Instagram and all that stuff is really done by him. He's a genius when it comes to that. Mm-hmm. And Christy Guthridge, I said it has flown down from heaven and saved me, because she's amazing. I can't believe this is our first year. It feels like she's been there 10 years. So we're blessed. We have a great staff. We really do. They get along really well. We interchange with each other really well. And it's the key to our success, because they help bring in our players, get our players better, and take care of our players. Yeah. And it's all about the players. But if you don't have a staff that's going to support them that way, then you're going to be lost. And they saved me. They're not only great coaches, they're great friends.
That's great. What you mentioned, Director of Athletics Brian Felt, administration. Can you talk about that component as well? Because I think that goes hand in hand. As far as the administration at the athletic departments as well. Can you just talk about Seton Hall, how beneficial that has been over the years as well, Coach Bozzella?
Brian Felt gets it, and him and my senior women's administrator Tatum Kolitz work really closely with me. Tatum's been great. Like she's been a great sounding board for me. She's very supportive. She understands how to help run a basketball program, and I'm really thankful for her. Jimmy O'Donnell handles all our business stuff, and I never have anything to worry about. Never. He has it all under control. And, all our travel, I should say. And Jim Semmerad handles our day-to-day business operations and gives us the resources and helps allocate the resources for us to be successful. Yeah. Because without him, helping to allocate it, it would be difficult. But it all goes through Brian Felt. I mean, what I love about Brian is, he's a great guy and he's smart, but he's a tremendous leader. And he has expectations for the program and makes that there are expectations. But he also supports those expectations, both financially, but more important, emotionally as well. You can go in there. He's a Seton Hall alum. He's a husband to a wonderful wife who's a Seton Hall alum, who's an athlete. His wife, Tara, played soccer at Seton Hall. And then, his three beautiful children all bleed Seton Hall. So, they get it and they understand the passion that I have for Seton Hall as an alum. And that's really important. So I'm blessed with him and Jimmy and Jim and really Tatum. Tatum has been, to me, really supportive and really a great mentor for me. Like I learn a lot from her. I do. And I need that constant support, but also constant advice and how to help me continue to manage, 14 girls, 7 assistants, 10 managers. Not easy. And and last year when I was sick, our president called me when I was in the hospital. Obviously, Pat Lyons is my friend, and obviously my boss as well called me, and they really care. Brian Felt got mad at me that I came back so early, so they really care to me about Seton Hall.
That's great. That's what I was going to ask you. How challenging that was. I mean, when you came back. I mean, I said there you are. I mean, I said battling COVID. You come back. And you could see it. I mean, because I wasn't there at the games, but I said from the computer, just watching you. But just talk about that personally, Coach Bozzella. Just the trials and tribulations dealing with it. Yeah,
I got the support. Like when our president called, texted me in the hospital, and obviously Pat was really concerned because obviously he's so close to my family, and obviously Brian too. But like there were people that just called me from Seton Hall that I didn't even really knew they knew me. And that said a lot, from our dean of the business school to the dean of the arts and science school. Mm-hmm. I mean, Joyce Strouser was tremendous. And she's our dean of our business school. And, it was a lot. And, I get emotional, but I was never the same. I never felt good last year. I'll be honest. I don't want to say I had brain fog, but I wasn't sharp. I had a lot of physical issues that I dealt with. Because of that, obviously the blood clots in my chest were one thing, but just my breathing, my memory, my sharpness, I was never the same. But our kids bailed me out. I mean, they played really good.
Yeah, they did.
Geez. Yeah. And the emergence of Lauren Park Lane was fantastic.
Yeah.
Andre Espinoza to me has been a miracle person. I mean, who comes in 5 practices in and becomes first team All Big East? You know, that was a lot, and it's hard. I mean, I'm back to myself. I'm 95% of my energy, when my mind's sharp, I'm on top of it. I think I'm able to help the staff a lot more because they carried me last year, and you know, we got good players. I'm excited for this year, Sunil. Like, everyone needs to come watch us. Like, we're high scoring. Obviously, we know about all our returning players. And, you know, like I said, a lot of them have gotten a lot better. Lauren Barclay just got a lot better. I can't believe how good she is. Like, and I mean that's the ultimate compliment to Lauren Barclay. But Andrea's expanded her game so much. It's tremendous. And same with Maya Jackson. I mean, Maya Jackson's turned into a hell of a player. Like, you know, and stuff. And then Sydney. Sydney's a special player. You don't get a talent like her too often. And the person who recruited her was Andrea Espinoza Hunter. Like, you know, I talked to her a few times and my staff, but Andrea's the one basically that convinced her. So, you know, when Andrea finally does hang it up, I'm going to have to hire her as well. So
and you coach a lot of great players. You know, I just wanted to ask you, I mean, you know, from that first year, you know, and then going on to 2014-15, you won a program record 28 games. I'm wondering, you know, to Kajita Simmons and, you know, Daisha, you know, Simmons, can you talk about some of these? I mean, you've just had an outstanding track record throughout the years, Coach Bozzella. Just talk about that. Where this program, where you first started until now in your 9th season.
I mean, I had great staff. Like I said, even with, you know, Nick DePillos, now the head coach of Scranton, did a great job. And Tim Gardner, who became the associate head coach at LIU, and Stephanie Del Piore became the head coach at LIU. They helped start this whole thing off and did a great job, you know. And then even having Dee Dee on staff, a person like Shalia Lyons, who's been 8 years until she just moved on to Hofstra. I mean, all those people, you know, really did a great job for me, and I was proud of them. And then, you know, I'm sure I had some other assistants and people who helped me through the year that I'm not mentioning, but you know, I'm really blessed to have some great players. Dee Dee and Deja were amazing. I mean, we can't forget Todd Richardson Smith. I mean, our all-time leading scorer. I mean, what a tremendous talent. Alicia Powell, a transfer, and Alexis Sosa, transfer, both from Iona, really were amazing and really got us, you know, good. And then, I mean, how can you forget Shadeen? You know, preseason Big East Player of the Year. Shadeen didn't hurt her knee. We'd easily have been in the tournament. And for her to even play on the one leg that she did says a lot about her and her commitment. And, you know, there's other players I'm sure I'm forgetting. We're not mentioning now. I'll never forget them. But, you know, that group of young ladies was fantastic. Barbara Johnson came in as a transfer and really was a special player as well. Libertia Gordon is one of my all-time favorite kids. Was our starting center on our second NCAA team, and very unheralded. Tiffany Jones had some of the best games ever as a power forward at Seton Hall. And had a lot of good players, Sunil, like, you know, like I said, you know, Janae Johnson, to go from scoring 2 3-pointers her first year to 55 and help lead the NCAA tournament, 28 wins. You know, we had some good players, and obviously Dee Dee and Deja and Shakina. I mean, 3 of the best guards ever. But I tell you, these 2 guards I got in the backcourt right now, they're right there. Lauren Barclay and Maya Jackson are tremendous players, and then obviously Andra, guard forward, whatever you want to call her. I just call her a really good player.
Yeah. You know, what's even more remarkable is, you know, I looked at every stop you've been at, first starting at Southampton College at Long Island University to LIU, Brooklyn to Iona, now here to Seton Hall, is how you've been able to turn around every program, you know, said, and guide them to a winning season, to, you know, NCAA tournament berth or a conference tournament. That is just, I mean, you look back, Coach Bozzella, that must be, I mean, very satisfying that you, I mean, as you alluded to, having a coaching staff, a solid coaching staff in place, you need that, you know, that chemistry, that cohesiveness, but that's gotta be, you know, just, I mean, so awesome. I mean, just like every, you know, you've been able to do that, accomplish that goal at every stop.
Yeah. And, you know, like Lauren's been with me 14 years, you know, it's a long time. You know, 4 as a player, more. 4 as a player, 3 years at Iona as an assistant, that's 7, and 9 here at Seton Hall, that's 16 years. You know, probably more than half her age. You know, and then Marissa's been with me now almost 9 years, and you know, we've had a lot of consistency. My oldest associate head coach, Christy Abadi, was with me 15 years. You know, I'm lucky. These people have been loyal. They stayed with me. They've been great. I had a kid named Mandy Myers, played for me at LIU, came over to me at Iona. helped me recruit one of the best players ever in Martina Bieber. So, and I had some other really good people through the years that have helped a lot. And,
Yeah.
I'm just lucky, we have good staff, and good staff it helps get good players and develop good players. And that helps the head coach look a lot better.
Yeah.
And then, and I think, our passion and my passion, really, the kids have thrived off of that. And I love Seton Hall. I do. I love the people. People ask me what's the most important thing. What do you sell in recruiting to Seton Hall? Sell the people. So I'm just lucky. I am.
And you know what? I think another terrific thing is the part of being a student athlete, academics. I was looking at the notes. I think you had 100% graduation rates, 64% student athletes, MAC conference, all academic honors. And the same applies here at Seton Hall as well. Can you just talk about that, Coach Bozzella?
Well, our support staff's helped a lot. Matt Geibel is in charge of all academics, and he's done a great job. A gentleman named Roberto Sasso that, really does a great job with student athlete welfare. So he's kept the student athletes. They have classes on how to do everything for our student athletes, from how to pick the right fork at dinner to what to order at a business dinner. Roberto's done a great job, and Matt organizes everything academically. Him, his staff with Alyssa and Carissa, they've been great, and I can't thank them enough, because they take a lot of the pressure off of us academically. I don't really have to worry about anything. Matt and his staff, do everything. They set people up, they do their classes, they do all that stuff. So we're just really blessed. And that's, starts with our boss, Brian Felt, has put together a great staff underneath him, and it's been really good.
Okay, Coach Bozzella, take me through a typical day. Starting from morning until night, and then I wanted to ask you as well. All the X's and O's. In the huddle. During the game, just what that moment is also for you. Coaching. Said this team as well. I had to ask you about that.
Yeah, no, I by the way, I forgot Amanda. I said, listen, I met Amanda in academics. She's been amazing. So we get in about 8:30. We have some meetings, we talk, we start some individual work around 10 to 11. A lot of players come in and out. Jose helps organize that and really run that with the staff. At 11:15, we'll meet as a team. 11 stretch, 11:30 we'll practice till about 1:30, 1:45. And then 3 days a week we'll lift weights. The other 2 days we'll do some extra work with the people who didn't work out in the morning. That's about 2:30. Staff, we try and get some lunch at that point, late lunch. Then we have a staff meeting around 3 for recruiting till about 4. And then from 4 to 4:30, I'll meet individually with some staff. And then it's about 5 o'clock, and we'll either go recruiting, which is a lot of days, or, we'll just go home at that point. So it's a long day. Next semester, we'll go back to practicing 9 to 12, and then really have more individual work after, which will be a little more conducive to our travel for our league schedule. So that's pretty much a day that we do. But again, kids are always in our office. We always talk to them. We're always showing film. We don't have really like set meetings. We have one, but we just are always in each other's office talking, which is great. This is a great group. We get along really well. They are glad to be here. They cooperate with each other really well. They help each other. There's no egos. It's a really great group to have.
It's great. I said, what are those moments, I said when you're on the sidelines, coaching, you got the rest of the coaching staff, players, just you've been doing it for so long. I'm wondering, like, year after year, but just those moments, what comes to your mind? I'm just wondering about that, Coach Bozzella.
Well, I mean, during the game, we're just focused. We're trying to look for advantages and disadvantages of our opponents. But there are times, I'm not gonna lie, I sit there and I thank God, because God's given me everything I have. To sit there and be the Seton Hall head coach. I sat there when I was a student behind Phyllis Mangina, who's still a close friend of mine, and BJ Carlissimo. And I said, wow, one day maybe I can sit on that bench next to them or something like that. And then to obviously be there as a head coach now, that's just something. And always be grateful to Pat Lyons for giving me the opportunity, and Dean Hobbs, and our president back then, was great. it was just a dream come true. And, you know, President Esteban and my first meeting with him, he's like, you know, I see you're married to a Philippine woman and they're of the Philippine culture. He's like, and you love Seton Hall. He's like, this is going to be a great fit. And it was, and it still is.
It's great. Just have a couple more left. Coach Bozzella, can't thank you for the time. You've been coaching, women's college basketball for a long time. I wanted to ask you just about the growth of the sport over the years, and just where do you see, right now the game going, from this point. I just had to ask you about that.
A lot of people are talking about what we can and we can't give. We have to do a good job of marketing. One of the things that really bothers me, and I get in trouble, and I've been on this crusade for a little bit, so I probably need to stop, but we have to promote the program. And what's the best way to promote the program is the state schools playing against each other. We play Princeton. It's great. I've played Rider a lot. I'm playing, I've played FDU, I play them. But the one team we struggle to play that doesn't want to play us right now is Rutgers. It's disappointing. We wanted to have a Hardwood Series Classic, just like the men did. We wanted to promote it. We had all these great ideas, whether playing at Walsh, playing at the Rack, playing as a doubleheader with the men. Like, we had all these great ideas to do and to really promote the sport and get the, two of the top schools in the state to play against each other. And, it's our state school. I think, they have the right, they really have the obligation to play us. I believe that. And, just to generate the excitement. I know the Big Ten Network will cover us if we played Rutgers, and I know Fox would cover us if we played the game at Seton Hall. And like I said, to do double headers, to promote it together, to maybe have a big charity event, to do a lot of things around that game. The Hardwood Classic would mean a lot. And I'm just disappointed and really bewildered why we're not playing. We had the dates and we had everything, and then I take a look at their non-league schedule, and no offense to the teams they're playing, but there's no rivalry games there. I mean, we're trying to promote the sport. I can guarantee you we would sell out at Seton Hall. If we didn't, I would buy the tickets myself, but I wouldn't have to. And I can guarantee we'd get a great crowd at Rutgers, because one of the things I know about Rutgers is they have very, passionate fans, and they're going to want to beat Seton Hall, and they're going to want to play us. And that's what we need, Sunil. We need to promote the sport.
Jersey basketball, especially. Yeah.
We all want equality, and we want this, and we want that. Well, listen. Our men go out and play Rutgers, and they now have the Hardwood Classic. And you know what? It's a great thing for the media to cover and to write about it and do stories about different players. I mean, can you imagine this year if we had the Hardwood Classic, we could do some stories about, obviously all the great players that Rutgers has had in the past and has now, and obviously a legendary head coach and Coach Stringer, and they're tremendous staff. Yeah. And then for us, my players and two kids being on the Naismith watch list and do all that. And, it's just wrong. We should be playing. And I'll continue to be on this crusade to play. Yeah. Because we need to do that. And you asked me what we need to do. We need to promote our sport. We can't ask the media, well, you need to cover us when we're playing someone that no one knows who we're playing. Yeah. It's not, no offense to those teams, but can you imagine seeing all the Rutgers on a Saturday afternoon and on national TV? Like all the people would be writing about it. And that's it. And who cares? Yes, do we want to win? Yes. Do they want to win? Yes. But at the end of the day, let's grow the sport and do something best for the sport. Yeah. That's what we need. Not playing some team from Alabama that no one's heard of, or a team from, Missouri. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. Come on. There's enough of that in our own leagues, teams that are so far away. Yeah. And that's what we need to do. And I'm going to stay on this crusade forever.
No, I agree.
They can mad at me all they want, because at the end of the day, we're supposed to promote our sport. That's part of our job. Yeah. Promote our players, promote our sport, and grow our sport. Pat Summitt told me something that was really great years ago. Yeah. They were playing Arizona State, and she's ranked number 1 in the country, and Arizona State was like 20 or 25. They were good, but they weren't great. And they were playing at Arizona State, and they're playing outdoors. And it was the first outdoors game for a woman. And I was sitting there, and someone was giving her a hard time. Mm-hmm. Pat, why would you go play in Arizona? It's going to be trouble to breathe. The game's outdoor. It could be windy. They're going to have all their fans. They could beat you. She's like, the game is on national television. My job is to promote our sport and my program. Yeah. And I'm never going to take away that from our girls. This is 25 years ago. She had the vision to do this. Yeah. But we have this opportunity here. We certainly had the opportunity at Seton Hall to make Seton Hall Rutgers one of the biggest rivalries in all of women's college basketball. But you need two people to dance, and they don't want to.
It's true. Well said. My final two questions. You talked about your family. I did, husband, father. I wanted to ask you, just the support. I mean, I said that, father of two children. I just, I wanted to ask you about that. How much, that's meant to you over these, years, Coach Bozzella.
There's no harder job in the world than being a wife of a college basketball coach.
Yeah.
And, I'm blessed to have a great wife, 29 years. She's been there for me the whole time. She understands the game really well, which I'm blessed. Most of the time, except for the time she tells me what I did wrong. But but for the most part, it is great. On an honest note, she's a tremendous woman and cares very deeply for obviously for me, but for our success. My daughter played for me for 2 years, and it's not coincidence. Both years she was on the team, went to the NCAA tournament. It wasn't because she was a great player, it was because she kept me focused. She was my rock. Well, during those 2 years, she knows the game tremendously. And then my son, he's at NYU now. He's finishing his senior year, a film student. And Sam will actually be graduating in 6 weeks from PA school at St. Elizabeth University, and is going to be a doctor. Like I said, she saved my life. Wasn't for her, I would probably have had a stroke, the doctor said. And Joey's great, studying film at NYU. And, I was a tremendous sports fan, but they've all been great. And, my wife's had to raise these kids alone a lot. And she's a superwoman for that. And, I love her for a lot of things, but for that, she's been great.
It's wonderful. You have the last word, Coach Bozzella. What is your message to the Seton Hall University fan base out there, whether it's locally, nationally, students, alumni, for the upcoming 2021-22 season?
Nationally, I think people have got to watch Seton Hall. Our non-league schedule is really hard. Like I said, and then no offense to the schools, it's not as sexy names as some schools, but they're all really good basketball teams, all coached by really good coaches. Like I said, everyone's finished, for the most part, first or second in their league, or picked top three. I own, like I said, I own us in the top half. So we have some really good non-league games. We're challenging ourselves. And I think those things are important. We have great fans, but we need them back. We went to dinner with a bunch of our fans the other night, 3 of our players, and the fans were telling our players what it was like, because our players were like, it was Maya Bembry and Skylar Treadwell and Amari Wright, and all 3 of them are now in their second year at Seton Hall, and they didn't understand what it was like to play in front of Walsh because they never played a game. They were fans, and our fans are trying to tell them. So we need our fans back. We do, and we need them to come back, support us. Like, there's no bigger proponent to our dance team, the Sapphires, our cheerleaders, all tremendous people. They follow me on Twitter, I follow them, and I'm very supportive of them, and they're very supportive of our women's team, and then our band. It's just tremendous. Our band is loud. They make Walsh really shake, and it's exciting. And you've been there for games, and the year before we had 4 or 5 sellouts. So we need to get back to that, Sunil. It's a brand new gym. You're going to love it, but you're really going to love the product we put on the floor. These kids can play. Someone asked me the other night, how do you rate this team with, your 2 NCAA teams? And I said, they have the potential to be right there. Now, I'll never say they're as good as those teams yet, because they have not achieved an NCAA bid. But if they do, and they have the opportunity to, this is not only a team that can make the NCAA tournament, can do well. Because anytime you put on the floor a great point guard, a hell of a 2 guard, a tremendous small forward, a variety of people that can play the power forward spot, and really a fantastic center, you got a chance to really win.
Yeah. Okay, Coach Bozzella, if I've left anything out,
you've been great. I'll probably get in trouble for some of the things I said. Like I said,
I appreciate your honesty, Coach Bozzella. Again, just a tremendous honor and privilege interview, about this season, about the Seton Hall University women's basketball 2021-22 season, and wishing you, the rest of the coaching staff, and the players all the best this season.
Sunil, thank you, and I'll see you in a week or 2.
Yeah, I know. Hard to believe it's right around the corner.
Can't wait. Thank you.